Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today I'm Bancroft and being joined once again by Jimmy, but not only once again because he's brought another take on Whis. And like always, there are buttons. If you feel like you want to click them, please do. They're there for a reason. All right, Jimmy, Whis 2.0?
I would call this like Whis like 1.3.
1.3.
Because there's not much different from it. I wanted to revisit this deck because I enjoyed it a lot. And I felt like the engine is strong enough to be kind of in the, if we want to put it in like the jank to, competitive tier, it's like right in the middle. Like it's not jank, but it's not all that competitive. It's more of a fun deck. You can probably take this to your locals and do pretty well with it. Or if you don't play competitively, then you can just play it with your friends and have a lot of fun because it is a fun engine and you finally get to play Whis, which is a really cool character that nobody really talks about. So the leader is your main engine, really. Its auto is when you attack, you draw a card. Then if it's your opponent's turn and you combo with a 15k skillless, you get to play it afterwards from the drop area. So it's very, very, a lot of value off of your combos. You're awakened, you awaken at 4 or less life, or if you have a unison with specified cost of 2, you take your life down to 6 and flip over. And it is a hybrid leader. Then on the backside, same autos. Then you can activate main for 1. Choose a Goku or Vegeta, the skillless. Place it in your drop area and search your deck and play, or I think it's hand or deck, and then play a EX Evolve card with an energy cost of 3 with the same character name as the one you dropped. It's really complicated, but once you see the cards, it'll make more sense. So for our skillless spread, run 4 Goku, 4 Vegeta. You can run some of the older 15k skilllesses because it does not specify it has to be a Goku or a Vegeta if you just want more skillless targets and more skillless spam. But I feel comfortable with this. You have ways of searching them out, and you have 8 of them in the deck, so you can pretty much see them whenever you need to. And these do come into play for free, so you never really want to be tapping energy for these guys. And moving on to the EX Evolves, you got the Goku and the Vegeta. So the Goku, you can pay 1 yellow, play it on top of the skillless, or any Son Goku with an energy cost of 2. You draw 1 card when you do that. Auto, when he attacks, he will KO one of your opponent's rest mode battle cards. And then the auto is when he is removed by an opponent's skill, you get to search your deck and you get to play the Vegeta. So they both interact with each other. The Vegeta has the same EX Evolve. He is Double Strike. When your opponent activates a counter during a battle with this card, he gets to restand. So they pretty much always have to either combo out of this or just take the Double Strike. And then the auto is the exact same, but you grab a Goku instead. So this card is just really good for punishing your opponent for really doing anything. And this card is just really good at clearing your opponent's field, which yellow has an issue with removal. So just having a card that you can pay for 1 energy from either your leader or from your hand to play out to KO cards is really, really nice. And plus, constant 20k double strike pressure and constant 20k crit pressure is never a bad thing. On to some of our skillless support. We have Beerus in Awe of the Golden Emperor. Auto, pay 1 yellow. If your leader card is a Whis card and it's your turn, you get to restand 2 of your skillless battle cards. They both gain plus 5k. So you swing twice, 15-15. Combo this on like a leader swing or something of that nature. Tap 1, restand, 20k, 20k. And then EX Evolve does keep the boost, so you can just pay and have a 25k crit or double strike swing, depending on which one you play. In my original build, I was not really fond of this card until I started playing it, and Fluff was like, bro, you should probably go up on that card, because I was running it as a one-of. So, big fan of this card. More support for our skilllesses and also our awakening fodder. Vados. Auto, when your opponent attacks, you can just choose a skillless in your drop area and combo with it. So this can make your opponent. I've had matchups where My opponent swings, I activate auto, I put the 5k down, and they're like, okay, I'm swinging to a 20k now? I'm like, yeah, and they go, well, never mind. Just, we'll let the attack bounce. +1, you rest mode one of your opponent's battle cards, and the -4 is you just play 2 skilluses. I've not once ever used the -4. The +1 is really powerful because you do have cards that proc off of resting your opponent's battle cards. But the main reason you're playing it is to awaken, and also for the auto. So even if you don't have the cards in your hand, if they keep getting removed, you can keep bringing them back to the field. So I could not find a third Ox King today, or I would be running one. What he does is all of your yellow battle cards, energy cost 3 or less, gain barrier. So a majority of your deck is 3 or less battle cards. So you put this down, this just becomes a lightning rod for your entire deck. Your opponent has to deal with this before they can deal with any of your other cards. And even when they do, if they kill your 3-drop Vegeta and Gokus, you still get value off of it, so it punishes them for even thinking about removing it. So he does not give himself barrier. If you have 2 out, then they'll give each other barrier, and then now all your 3 or lesses have barrier. So that's why I would like to run 3, and also like to see them more consistently. I was lucky enough that in my testing, I've always seen them at a 2 of. Just a fantastic card. I don't think it gets enough love. Whis, a helping hand. When you play Whis, you search top 5 of your deck, you add a skillless or a 2-drop unison to your hand. And then auto, when you combo with a skillless, you get to draw a card. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. Gets you a little bit of extra draw. Searches out the cards you need. And again, it gains barrier off of Ox King. And if it doesn't have barrier, your opponent is usually apt to try to remove this because they don't want you getting advantage off of your combos. So, again, becomes another lightning rod for the deck. Counterplay Vegetas. I'm not the biggest fan of this card. If you have 2 markers on a unison, you can play him for free. He comes in, he is a 14k blocker, and whatever card your opponent is playing is played in rest mode. He does gain barrier off of Ox King, which is the only reason that I've kept him in the deck, because a barrier blocker is always fantastic. I don't think there's a single time where you would go, I don't want a barrier blocker on field. So I'll run him at a 2 of. If you feel more comfortable running him at a 4 of, or maybe even 3 of, go ahead and do it. Or cut them all together. I just like the idea of barrier blocker. So, 3 Basil Fatal Rampage. This card got reprinted, correct? It's going to be a little bit cheaper. So, it's still, I guess, technically a budget deck. In that realm, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know what he's at right now. I haven't looked at him in forever. But permanent, you can only have 1 in play. Draw 1 card on play, and then activate main. If your opponent has 5 or more cards in rest mode, he gains plus 15k and dual attack. I mean, I still think he's one of the best 1-drops in the game. If you play yellow and don't have these, I would just go ahead and shell out the money for them because they are that good. And normally, I would be comfortable with running this at a 2 of because it's just a great, surprise play. Here's a dual attack 19k. But I like him at a 3 of because there's been many times where I get my draw engine going, I draw a lot of cards, and I see multiples of these in hand. And you can play 1, activate main, swing, restand for dual attack, swing with another card, combo and off. Then play another 1, activate main, swing, and so on and so forth. So you get a lot of pressure out of these cards. So that's why I run it at a 3 of. If you don't have 3, just run them at 2. If you don't have 2, just go buy some more, because I'm pretty sure they're going to be cheaper with Battle Evolution.
Yep.
A card that I know has dropped due to its reprint, which also, I love the reprint art on this. I don't know
pretty
why.
nice.
It's a nice art. Bergamo, you can pay 2 when one of your opponent's cards is switched to rest mode by a skill. You can pay 2, and then rest mode more cards. You get to rest mode 2 of your opponent's cards, ignoring barrier. Doesn't matter where they're at. So the best play with this is obviously hitting their energy. Off of your unison, you can rest mode any standing battle card and just play this for 2. So it essentially turns your Unison's +1 into tap 3 cards. It's fantastic card and 20k big body beater. Nothing bad about this card. For our super combo spread, run 3 Zamasu. Just tapping more of your opponent's battle cards. This card is essentially just a negate. Put something in rest mode, make it a non-threat. And then I run 1 Counterblast Sun Gohan. This card has become a favorite of mine lately when I play yellow, because you can play it for 1, rest mode one of your opponent's battle cards. Then if it's your turn and your opponent has 5 or more cards in rest mode, you can KO a 5 or less when you combo with it. Or it's just a standard draw 1 super combo, which is always nice that you have the option. Definitely one of the best yellow super combos in the game, even if Zamasu is, in a lot of people's opinions, 10 times better. Run 2 monkeys. Just a good generic yellow card. Tap down a card, draw a card for 2 energy, and it's a double striker. Again, nothing bad to say about this card. 2 Poutine. This card is absolutely snapped. In certain matchups, this just turns off your opponent's entire deck. We've had a lot of Overwhelm players at the shop. You just play this, and it just turns off their entire deck. Because every card they're playing with skill is getting put in rest mode. Anytime they counter, you're rest moding cards. It plays for free when you tap down a card, so your Unison, Samasus, Apes, whatever, you get to play this card for free. And it is really difficult for them to get rid of because it is barrier, which most decks that are playing a lot of cards with skill don't have a way to deal with barrier. 2 Final Flash. I think this card got bought out recently, and I don't really understand why. It's a fantastic card, but I don't know why I saw it for $45. If you don't have this, just don't even worry about it. It's not worth $45.
There's no way it jumped up that high.
The other night when I was looking at it, bro, it was $45. I don't know why. Activate main, or activate battle, I'm sorry. If all your energy is yellow, you give your leader card plus 15k. And then you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and negate its skills. So opponent swinging on you for game, they combo out, you just drop this and go, yeah, get rid of that double strike that's going to kill me. I'll take 1 life. Hit a Cell X, do whatever. For 1 energy, this card is incredible. Not $45 incredible. Wait till it drops. Or it gets reprinted in some form or fashion. Flying Nimbus. Nothing to say about it. It's Flying Nimbus. It's not good dormant potential. For our one-of techs and bombs of the deck, or well, this really isn't a bomb, this is more of just a fun tech. Gotank's Genuine Ability. A Blocker Revenge, permanent, he reduces by 1 for every 15k in the drop area. All your skill lists are 15k, so he fits in the deck pretty well. And then when he comes in, he taps down a card, and that card cannot attack during your opponent, or you have to choose a battle card or a Unison card in rest mode, and it cannot attack, which is fantastic for turning off a lot of big threats. And the Blocker Revenge is difficult to play around because they're probably going to be dealing with trying to kill a 5-drop 20k, which outside of green is kind of difficult to deal with in those situations.
Well, it stocks like that on both.
So it's just a fantastic card, and you don't see it get played a lot, so I wanted to try it out, and it worked out pretty well.
Seth is playing the deck without
Bergamo, Lupine Predator. So he's triple attack barrier. If all of your opponent's energy is in rest mode, he's reduced by 3. And then when he is played, you choose all of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, switch them to rest mode, and they cannot be switched to active mode during your opponent's next turn. You okay there, Boom?
No, it's so good.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I didn't feel like singing it out loud. Thanks for letting me.
No, you're free to interrupt, bub.
No.
Yeah, this card is just nutty. I would run it at a higher total, but I just felt like it really didn't fit into the theme of the deck. The only way I can force my opponent's energy into rest mode is with Bergamo, the other 5-drop Bergamo. So there is very few situations where I have the perfect setup to play this, but when I do, it's pretty much game if I drop this. It's just an insanely powerful card.
Would it be
So-
would it be easier with cash or card?
If you want to tweak this deck a little bit and put more Bergamos in, put more ways to tap down your opponent's battle cards, or tap down your opponent's energy, then bump this up because this is a great game winner. And finally, you got the non-foil, the cheap SS3 Gotenks Blazing Fusion.
Look at this fool.
What do you mean, look at this fool?
9
Bro,
hollow.
I'm over here fucking balling on a budget, bro. Unique double strike. He reduces frame rate 15k in the drop area just like the other Gotenks. And then auto, he negates the permanent. Is it permanent? Yeah, the permanent negates the skills of all other battle cards. So it basically becomes a vanilla fest, which your deck is already a vanilla fest. So not a big hit to you, but most of the time it's a big hit to your opponent. And when he is removed, you just kill all of your opponent's battle cards ignoring barrier. But most of the time they don't have a way to remove him, and he just sits on the board for the rest of the game until you either win or your opponent claps back next turn with all other vanillas they have now. You can run a different secret rare. I just wanted to run this one because it fit into the deck. It's yellow. I've never played it before. This is actually the only copy of this card I own. I don't have the nice one, even though I bought a ridiculous amount of that set. But like I said, this is just a fun deck. I don't see it being overly competitive. I'm sure there's a better competitive build out there. I heard of some people playing a Vegeta package in there, since you can play Colorless Energy and you play your Goku and Vegetas for free. That's something I might explore in the future, but I've just been having fun with this deck because I'm tired of playing overly competitive decks like Launch. Yeah, it's been fun. Try it out. Let me know if you have any ideas for the deck. And if you do take it to your locals, let me know how it does for you.
And with that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Like I said early on, there's buttons. Click them if you like. Please do. And Jimmy, last words.
I forgot you do this. I usually try to think of something to say beforehand, but I forgot that you do the last words thing.
How the hell did you forget about that?
Bro, I've been drinking a lot, bro. Shit.
That explains that $45 card. With that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Like always, read your cards, know your plays. Fluff out.